Hey everybody, welcome back inside the Stash Project. This is the Stash Report July 2018 compilation video. For the new people to the channel, first of all, welcome. Second of all, we do these videos at the beginning of every month to sort of give you a heads up as to the kits we expect to see released during any given month. Well, this is July 2018. And, let you know what you will be spending your money on this month. There is a little bit of action on the domestic side of things. Round 2 is releasing 8 kits this month to sort of, I guess, well, make up for last month's only having 1 release, as well as the fact, of course, that they sort of have the echo chamber of the domestic market, as it would be, because obviously Mobius, has their kits, but the only thing that's really pending a release right now would be the 4x4 version of the F-Series pickup trucks. And then everything else is, in the process of being done. But of course, they were sold here recently. So, it'd be interesting to see how long, it takes to get, I don't want to say back up and running because they are up and running, but just in the terms of the newer stuff that they had planned, be it for existing tooling, like some of the altered wheelbase drag cars, or for the new set of F-Series trucks, or the, early Chevy Novas, or, whatever the case may be in terms of their future kits, how long it'll take to get those to market. Also, we do have one other domestic release from the brand new company, the Salvinos JR Models. Their kit is going to be out this month, so let's just plow into it. And since we just mentioned it, we'll talk about that first. The Buddy Baker 1980 Daytona 500 winning Oldsmobile Cutlass 442 kit is done. For anybody who's on Facebook and followed them, they had a series of live videos all throughout the end of June, where they pretty much showed really in depth the entire manufacturing process for making a model kit. It was very, very educational if you're not up on what goes into that. I would say that a large majority of the loudmouths on forums have absolutely no idea what's going on in terms of modern model manufacturing. A lot of their information seems to stem from, I don't know, 40, 50 years ago with the way things were always done, and they're not done that way anymore. So, like I said, if you're on Facebook, look them up. They're Salvinos JR Models on Facebook. And, all the videos are posted up there. Them doing all of the injection molding for all the body parts, for the tires, for clear parts, and what that entails, and packaging, as well as the designs for the parts that are come out to fix some of the issues that the kit comes with. Because, I mean, let's face it, it does have a few issues. As well as them talking about their next release and stuff like that. So that kit was supposed to ship at the end of this week. This is June 30th, by the way, I'm recording this, so technically we're getting this out a day early. But this week, they were supposed to have everything done up and start shipping out, so it will be released in July. Over at Round 2, they have, so like I said, a bunch of kits coming out of AMT and 2 kits coming out of MPC. Over at MPC, they're going to reissue the Tiger Shark show car. I like to say I know what this was based on, but it's the whole design concept was like, non-linear lines and just a off-the-wall show car body and whatnot. Everything about it's customized. I don't know what the base car of what this was based on as far as engine and stuff like that goes, because you guys know, A, I'm not into show rods, and B, it's just, no, there's entirely too much drugs going on back then. The other release on MPC is a reissue of their 1969 Charger. Now, this is the new tool kit that just came out last year, or maybe it's 18 months ago or so now. The Snap-Tight kit that was done as the Dukes of Hazzard car. Of course, the Dukes of Hazzard is verboten. Please don't go into a whole thing about the Dukes of Hazzard, because I really don't care at this point. Because I know somebody will be all like, oh, America, censorship, and take it to your own page. But this is going to be done as just a sort of a street car. It has a set of mag wheels thrown in instead of the old, I want to say Vortec, but that's not technically the word I'm looking for. But instead of the regular Dukes of Hazzard wheels, this is a set of like mag wheels. They're not factory stock 69 Charger wheels by any stretch of the imagination. But the car is a blue car and a box art. Yeah, like I said, it's a Snap-Tite kit, and from what I understand, because it's something I never really picked up, because the last thing I needed was another Dukes of Hazzard car, that this kit itself is actually a pretty good kit in terms of body proportions and everything else like that, because it was newly tooled. It's not anything that was based off the old, 69 Dodge Charger annual that was, made into this, then made into that, then backdated to this, and then everything else, and always had the backlight wrong for the back glass and things like that. So, like, proportionally wise, it's not a Revell kit in the sense of being full detail, but it's pretty spot on as far as proportions go. Now, over at AMT, we have several things coming out for the big truck fans, as well as a couple other kits. We have a reissue of the Autocar A64B tractor. This is probably one Class 8 tractors that I really wanted to pick up, and was just not really willing to pay what I've seen them go for. You can catch some of the mid-2000 reissues of this at a fairly decent price, sometimes on eBay, but it seems like for some reason this was always a kit that sold for a lot more than I thought it should, in my personal opinion, based on what the price of this reissue is going to be. I think the most recent reissue of this was the one that had the dump truck bed attached to it. This is just the tractor, no dump truck part added, excuse me, that I'm aware of. Then you have the Fruhoff beaded van trailer. This kit was reissued not that long ago. This time it's going to have a Coca-Cola livery tie-in, so giant Coca-Cola decals. This is obviously designed to, in their theory of you buying everything they make, to go behind the Pete cab over that was just done as a Coca-Cola delivery truck. So now you have the whole rig. Obviously what you do with it is up to you. Then the other large truck thing will be a reissue of the Wilson livestock trailer. So A, it's got the Wilson licensing back. It didn't have that a couple of the last couple of reissues. And B, I know this is something that a lot of people have really been looking forward to getting back. Another kit that the price on had gotten a little high as of recently, and so that'll calm the markets down a little bit on that. Now you have three other kits that are just sort of regular car kits, if you will. First up is going to be the 1940 Ford sedan. This is going to be an original Art Series car. Now, unlike the past original Art Series cars that came in a big goofy box that was bigger in dimension than anything else that anyone else sells. I mean, it's bigger width-wise, but it's the same height because it's a flat box as like a Tamiya kit, because Tamiya has some pretty hefty boxes for some of their stuff. But it was a bigger kit, wider width-wise or height-wise, depending on however you want to look at it, than any import kit. So it was one of those, they were weird boxes in the sense that they didn't fit on your shelf with anything else other than other original Art Series kits. So what they've done here is put it into a regular size box. And they're also not charging you an extra like $3 or $4. It's going to be the same price as other AMT releases as of this month. And it's going to have a like 4x6 postcard sized original Art Series box. So instead of having the great big like literal wall print, an 8.5 by 11, this is going to be like a 5x8 or probably more like a 4x6. Picture of the box art, suitable for collecting and framing, blah, blah, blah. The more interesting thing to me about this is the fact that they have retooled the racing hood scoop and retooled the body. So the body has had some work done to it. Anybody who's bought this 40 Ford in the last several iterations knows that the hood and the body have not worked well. Have been see, that's one of those things where you should cut that out of the video, but they've not been they've not worked very well with each other. There's a word there I'm trying to think of, and it's not coming out, and I'm just not going to stutter over it anymore. So hopefully with the body being modified a little bit and the hood scoop thing being fixed up, maybe it'll actually go together now. They're going to have pad printed tires and drag slicks in this. It is original Art Series, and it is a yellow car in the box, but it is all molded in white. Now, unlike that, the 65 El Camino Gear Hustler is being reissued. This is being reissued directly as a tie-in to the Universal Construction series. Now, that would be the Blazer and the Bulldozer that was just reissued 2 months ago. So this is molded in yellow. I know everybody out there is already screaming, "Oh my God, it's molded in yellow!" But yeah, the idea here, obviously, is to make a construction set with those three kits. So molding it in yellow when everything else in that series is in yellow probably, makes sense. For everyone else, well, deal with it. It's the same 65 El Camino it's always been. It still has the bed cap. It does have the hard hat and the six-pack in it again. I'm thinking that was not particularly in the last couple of 65 El Caminos, where it was more designed to be like a drag car rather than the gear hustler part of it. So those things are back, and it's still got the big off-road tires in the back and things like that. And then last but not least, on the streetcar parts, is a reissue of the International Scout SS2 Off-Road. Now, a lot of people, when they think Scout 2, think of the kit that was most recently reissued in 2006. That is, an International Scout that looks like basically a Blazer or a Bronco of the era. This is the off-road one. This is the one that is a convertible top with no doors on it. I would personally like to have the body back, the regular body back, because the International Scout, for some reason, is just one of those kits that always was released around a time where I was either not in the hobby or not particularly interested in the vehicle, and so I've never got one of those. And while I don't necessarily object to the off-road version of it, I would rather have the one that's more supposed to be on-road. This, like I said, the kit has no doors. It's like a it's basically like a Jeep Wrangler that has no doors and no roof. It's an off-road vehicle. It's designed for trail riding in its construction. As far as I know, there are no doors and there is no roof. At least that's the way they're selling it. Again, I've not had any of those kits. So the other thing about this is they're having the International Harvester licensing back. What we'll see in terms of large trucks maybe coming down the road. Be interesting to see what they do with that. If you've not noticed, when Round 2 gets a licensing, they tend to abuse it. All these Coca-Cola things, for example. So interesting to see what we'll get out of that. So that's your domestic kits. Everything else is going to be overseas. First up, overseas, you have from BMAX the Porsche 935 Kremer 2 and its photo etch sets. That's a brand new tool kit. Doesn't share any parts with any other existing kit. The livery included will be for the 1975 6 Hours of Nuremberg, which was the 1,000 kilometers of Nuremberg in 1975, but the current race is called the 6 Hours. Same race, same distance. They just have a timer on it instead of a kilometer distance. You'll be able to build 2 different team cars for that. The Valiant livery, Frankie will be in the future. That's SK decals. We'll be doing a couple of livery sets for the Ghia Race of Macau cars. Group 5 was the Ghia Race of Macau from 1973 to 1976, I believe, or 74 to 77. It was a 4-year period, and of those 4 years, the 935 won 2 of the 4 years. Won the first time and the 4th time, and I believe the BMW 320 Group 5 car was what won in between. And now, while I know there's a Tamiya kit of a 320, it'd be nice to have a new 320 that was, not a motorized toy, but that's neither here nor there, I suppose. Over at Fujimi, you're going to get a reissue of the Suzuki Hustler in white pearl, and then you're going to get the new kits of the Mazda Flare, which is a brand-engineered Suzuki Hustler. So Mazda Flare in white pearl, Mazda Flare in active yellow. Well, that was embarrassing. Both those kits, again, are the Suzuki Hustler just with Mazda logos on it. And then you have a reissue of the Suzuki, the Civic. Yeah, it's close enough. The Honda Civic EK9 Type R Early. So it's been a long time since the early version of this has come out. It does have a different front bumper, possibly a different back bumper. I didn't really pay attention to it that much, but I know the front end of it is visibly different than the late version. The EK9 Type R that has been reissued from Fujimi several times in the last 3 or 4 years has been the late version. This is the early version. It's been 6-7 years at least since that's been done last. Over at Hasegawa, you get a reissue of the 2005 Subaru WRX Rally Japan, the rally car. And they're also going to be doing the photo etch set for that. A reissue of the Jaguar XJ SC V12 Cabrio. So that kit will complete the Jaguar XJ series. All 4 of those kits will have been reissued in the last basically 9 months. So you'll have the street car, you'll have the Cabrio, you have the TWR Group A race car, and the TWR street car. All four now complete. The modified reissue, if you will, of the new Tool R31 kit, so the Nissan Skyline R31 GTS R. This would be the street version of the race car, the Kawasaki race car that just came out. And also in July, the brand new Tool Mitsubishi Colt Galant GTO MR. So that's the 1975, I believe, is the year they're putting on this Colt Galant. Of course, the story behind this, as they're selling it, is the fact that the designers for Mitsubishi were sent to design school in California. They brought their American influences back and made a fastback car with a Coke bottle design, a lot of American styling elements in this, what for the time was a fairly sporty car. The GTO MR, is a four-cylinder, and it's not going to set the world on fire by any stretch of imagination, but it was a very different design than Japanese cars of the day. So, and that sort of started a lot of the sort of borrowed designs, if you will, sort of like the Celica. The 1970s Celica had the fastback and the Coke bottle body and things like that. So, kind of interesting little piece. It'll go well with several other kits that are out there in the time period. And then over at Aoshima, these kits are just going to be restocks. So these are kits that have already come out at least once in their current boxing, and they're just being restocked. And that is the Nissan Skyline GTR R34 pre-paint Bayside Blue, the 1996 Mazda, or I should say the Infiniti RX-7. Remember at the time, especially with the FD3S RX-7s, they were sold as Mazdas in the global market, and they had that Infiniti dealer lineup in Japan. The MX-5, the Miata, was also sold as an Infiniti over there at the same time. Then you have a reissue of the 72 Celica 1600 GT, a reissue of the 77 Celica 2000 GT Liftback, which again, those would be cars that would go very well with the new Colt Galant. Reissue of the 1979 Toyota Mark II Chaser. That, of course, is the kit that comes with two bodies. Of course, one interior, one chassis. You pick the Mark II or the Chaser, depending on which one you want to build. Reissue of the Vertex Ridge S15 Nissan Silvia. Vertex Ridge FD3S RX-7. Reissue of the 18-inch Workmeister S1, Work-O-Motion CR1, and Volk TE37s. Also, reissue of the initial DAEA6 Volume 37 kit. That's the one we'll always tell you to get because it has all the parts in it. And a reissue of the Pontiac Firebird, or technically Trans Am Firebird, from the TV show Knight Rider. So it's got Kit Season 1 and Kit from Season 4. Now, the stuff that is being reboxed, as it were, or is new stuff, would be in the Toon model car lineup. You're getting a reissue of the RE Eminea. Would be not an FD3S, would be the other one. You start doing these abbreviations, and it gets, you start stumbling over it, and no one give the wrong one, but it's the RX-7. It is the late 80s. It's this body style right here, the older one. It's not the new version, but it's the older. I'm trying to think what that is. F3S, CS. Yeah, it's be the FC rather than FD. So it's the FC RX-7, and then a reissue of the Genesis Auto Nissan Skyline R30. That's been a much requested reissue, so they're finally getting that back out. In the model car lineup, you're getting a rebox reissue of the 1989 Toyota Crown Royal Saloon G. A rebox reissue of the 1984 Toyota Truno Apex GT. The significant thing in that kit would be the inclusion of those big monoblock four giant spoke wheels. We talked about those that were in the pre-painted Truno and Levin that just came out here recently. A modified reissue, ever so slightly, of the 1984 Toyota Levin as the 1500 SR. New decals, new low trim level wheels, and a few other pieces. And then you're going to get the modified reissue of the Nissan R35 GTR in the Liberty Walk Type 1.5. So this is going to have several pieces that are new to update the kit to 2017 spec. It is still a Liberty Walk kit, so you know, it's not a factory stock 2017. But let's see if we actually ever get a factory stock 2017. Obviously, the modelers did a resin piece, but I'm sure a lot of people who build you know, import cars would like to have a R35 that doesn't cost $90 in order to get a current or most recent anyway you know, Skyline update. And then you have the new tool, brand new tool, 2001 R34 Skyline 25 GT Turbo 4-door, and of course the other one with the optional wheels, which are TE37s. Kind of a boring optional wheel choice there, but hey, it is what it is. So it'll be interesting to get that new toolkit in as well. You know, not perhaps not the most interesting kit to the American audience necessarily, but will fit very well with quite a number of kits that exist already or kits that will be being reissued soon. We got the September stuff for Aoshima, which we will cover in the regular video, which dovetails with that R34 Skyline. So that, guys, is what you're going to spend your money on in July. I have a number of things on this list. Might have to actually put off a couple of orders in case you haven't noticed as I wave around. Nothing serious, just, you know, got to take it easy for a couple of days. So, you know, house bills come before model bills. It is what it is. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it for this video. It's a pretty decent month. This will wrap up pretty much everything that was announced at Shizuoka, other than a couple of the BMAX things, obviously, and you know, some of the brand new stuff that New Hobby also announced. Although we should be getting the Nuremberg version of the M6 probably in August. I'm gonna say maybe very late August, early September. I know they have the Nuremberg car on Hong Kong distributors' websites still showing like a mid-July release, and then the Sprint car, the Team Italia M6 Sprint Series car showing at the very beginning of September. So I'm sure that, you know, they'd like to get the Nuremberg car out so they can get the other one out so that they can focus on that 911 RSR, which would be a very nice model to have at this point, because it would be more or less the car that, you know, won the 24 Hours of Le Mans, won the, what am I trying to think of? Won the 24 Hours of Nürburgring. So, quite a few decal packages could be done up for that car straight away. So, that would be a good one to have before, because you have the new car was just announced at Nuremberg, but I don't believe it's actually raced this year so far. You know, get that kit out as soon as you can so that it's not one of those things that American companies like to do where, hey, here's this brand new car that's a body style older than the car that you want to build. So, you know, it is what it is, and New Hobby didn't exactly have the greatest track record in terms of getting a kit out with the BMW. I know a lot of that was BMW's licensing department, because underneath all of the Hobby New stuff, this name-wise is BMAX is the one that's actually making it, and then they had a large, you know, licensing hassle with the E30 M3 kit. So anyway, guys, rambled on long enough. That'll do it for this one. We'll see you guys on the other side.